People don't know that recycling snail shells is actually a very profitable business. This is another niche in the snail farming industry and it is underrated. So far, we have recycled more than 300,000 snail shells and we have made in figures. At Joks Snail Farm, we farm the snails, we export them, we dry them. We also recycle the snail shells to calcium supplements. With 107,500, you should be able to start a reasonable snail farm from your backyard.
In today's video, we'll bring a story of a stay-at-home mom who is gradually building a business empire from the comfort of her backyard. But before we get into this video, please do me a favor by subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up, but most importantly, comment and let me know what your thoughts are regarding this video. And if you really like this video, please share it so more people can get to see it.
So we are currently selecting these snails for a customer that has paid for them. So we'll be processing them, drying them to export standard and sending them to USA. We would also be using the shells for calcium production. We use these snail shells to produce calcium and also feed the snails back with it. So that's what we are doing. All of this, they are of the same sizes. These are jumbo snails and we are producing 150 pieces today. We are currently processing 150 jumbo snails for one of our customers in the USA. So basically, we have more customers abroad than in Nigeria. Maybe because of the price of snails, I don't know. But of course, people that know the value of snail meat, they go for it. And every part of snail is actually very useful. This, we process it and we eat it for customers that do not request for it. So we eat it. This is the snail intestine. If we have, say, a catfish farm, we can give this to catfish for them to feed on. So basically, we have more customers abroad than we have at home. And everything here is not waste. The snail meat, the shell, we are also going to be processing and reselling to snail farmers like us. Farmers who farm snails, they buy the snail shell calcium from us to also feed their snails. So snail farming for me started as a side hustle. I didn't even know it was going to be a thing like this. It all started in 2016 when I was waiting to go for my NYSC. So I had this delay in school. So I had 1 whole year to wait till all of this is sorted out. You know Nigerian school now. So during the period of waiting, I kept asking myself, what am I going to do with this 1 year that I have? Then I stumbled on a seminar. I attended this seminar and the facilitator was talking about small businesses that you can do with less than 100,000. So the person mentioned zobo making, kunu making, bead making, and then he mentioned snail farming. That caught my attention because as a child, I was always hunting snails. So I said, you know what, I'm going to put in for snail farming and see how I can grow while waiting for NYSC. So after the whole thing, I went to meet the facilitator and I got a number of a snail farmer in Ibadan. That was where I got my first learning experience on snail farming. And I started in my kitchen apartment, my small school apartment. Then I built one small hunt box, put in about 30 snails, and the whole journey started. It was a whole lot of failures and lot of mortality, but I was just passionate about snail farming, and then I had this intention that I was going to succeed in it. At a point, I stopped because I wasn't getting it. I picked it up again. But in 2018, I got the opportunity to meet with the person who eventually trained and mentored me. So when I received that training, I started my snail farm. So we started snailing, and for 2 years, we're doing it. And suddenly, I realized that our waste was becoming a major issue in the environment where we are. My neighbors will start complaining, this your snail shells, oh, they are smelling, oh, and all of that. Even me, that I house my farm in my backyard, I know that the waste was a bottleneck for me. Sometimes they breed maggots, they breed a whole lot of things, and I had babies. So I started racking my brain on how I could convert the waste to something meaningful. I searched on YouTube. I was looking for information on how to convert snail shells, because snail shell on its own is made up of 99% calcium supplements. So, and snails need calcium. I was using eggshell before. The calcium content was not substantial, and I was even buying it. The rate, the price, and of course the fact that it has this funny smell did not make the snails to consume it much. So I thought to myself that if I'm able to achieve success in recycling this snail shell, it will eliminate the cost of me getting eggshell to feed my snails, and I'll be able to give them the exact calcium content they need to grow. So after a series of trials and error, I eventually got it. So I gave some of my students the calcium that we had produced for them to test on their snails while I was testing on my snails too. And their feedback was amazing. Oh, the snails finished it, they love it, and all of that. So I came up with a formula that we used in feeding the snails with the calcium and the formulated snail feed, because of course the snail shell calcium must not be too much for the snails to avoid cannibalism. So after a while, people started reaching out. My student that I gave the sample that, we want more snail shell, we want more calcium. I said, it has finished. It was just the waste, the production waste that we had in the backyard that I recycled. So that was where I now thought of reaching out to people who are into selling of snails that they export. So we get snail shells from seafood vendors, and then we also go to major snail shell markets in Ibadan to pack snail shells. We go with cast-up to pick up snail shells in thousands, and that was how we started recycling snail shells. So far, we have taken over 50,000 snail shells from the landfill, and our own production from the farm is no longer a waste. We now recycle it to feed our snails and also sell to our customer. So while we are selling snail meat, we are also making money from recycling the snail shell. This is what your snail shell powder looks like. Imagine getting something as fine, as beautiful as this with snail shell waste. So this is what our snail shell looks like after we have grinded them. And this is how we sell. We bag in 5 kgs, 10 kgs, 50 kgs, depending on our customers' request. We have customers in Lagos, Abeokuta, Abuja that buy as high as 50 kg every month. So look at what we have here. And in fact, the smell is inviting. I think if we get good grants, we can encapsulate this product so that even humans can start taking snail shell as a source of calcium for themselves, for stronger bone, stronger teeth, and so on and so forth. Because our production is so refined, so unique, and it is safe for consumption.
Did you just lick this snail shell?
It's a very good.
Okay. Please, so.
How does it look like?
How does it taste?
Tastes like mineral.
It don't taste special.
It's tasteless.
No, it's okay.
Why have I not been taking this thing? Wow.
It's a video. Please get a nutritionist.
So in here we have lots of snail shells that have gone through first, second, and third production phase. So they are just waiting for us to crush them and turn them into powder. So they are bagged already, and we are ready to sell once we get customers that are interested in this product. So this is the machine that we use in crushing the shells. We call it hammer crusher. It can be easily fabricated by any reasonable fabricator. So this machine will crush the shells into this particle, and then this other machine will now grind it into fine powder. So what we do currently is we change this with this. We switch the machine. We switch this with this to grind.
So this crushes. And
this crushes, this grind to fine powder. So we are still looking for more ways to refine our production process to make it less stressful. So maybe there will be a machine that would crush it like this and also make it into fine powder, so we don't have to be going back and forth. So but so far this is how we are producing the shells.
So, and this is the point where I will now introduce you to a company that does that.
Oh.
So which is actually right here in Oyo State. They are called Niji Group.
Niji Group.
Yes.
Okay.
So we just did a documentary with them. So they do very huge, they produce huge, all kinds of agro
machines,
machineries.
Wow.
Fully automated. Whether
Fantastic.
you're automating gari, flour, anything at all, automation from beginning to end. So they'll be able to do that
For us.
for this. So we're able to crush. From crushing, once you feed it, it will crush it, take it from crushing to
powder. So we don't have to
even
be...
if you want washing, you can pour
Yes,
it.
I want washing.
When you pour it, it will wash it, filter it out, dry it, crush it.
I'm interested.
Okay, so Niji Group have promoted your product now. Better get commission.
Mixing the snail shell powder with the snail feed. So I'm going to mix it up together. There is a measurement for feeding snails depending on the numbers of snails that you have. So but for the purpose of this video is just to show how this product is being used. Okay, so this is a combination of the snail feed and the recycled snail calcium, and I'm just going to feed our snails with it now. So I come here where my snails are. I open up the pen. We have already wet them this morning, so I won't be adding water.
So one is okay?
No, I'll be putting 3. So snails are mostly active in the night. They can start eating now, but the main feeding activity starts in the night. So if they start feeding now, we might capture the process. So this is how we feed them with the snail shell powder. If we also want to give them fruit, let's say we want to give them watermelon, we also sprinkle the calcium on it, so that this helps to enhance their growth and also lay eggs.
How are you able to measure that adding calcium to the snail food was much effective for your snails than when you weren't? How are you able to measure that?
When we started giving the snail shells to the snails, we realized that the productivity was higher. We got more eggs, more viable eggs that eventually hatched to baby snails. So this is a pointer to us that we are doing the right thing. The snails enjoy feeding on the snail shell calcium that we feed on them, compared to when I was using eggshell to feed them. When I measured both instances together, when we were giving them eggshell and when we were giving them snail shell, the productivity we got when we were giving them the snail shell powder was higher than when we were giving them the eggshell.
Okay.
One of the reasons why people fail when they start their snail farm is because their structure is not properly well set up. What I mean by structure is your snailry, your snail house. Your snail house has to be constructed in such a way that it protects the snails from external factors like predators. So there are ants, lizard, wall gecko, snake, and so on and so forth. Take a look at what we have here. You would see that aside that we had raised the blocks up, we also have this net to cover the snails. And not just ordinary nets. We have 2 kinds of nets here. We have the Boko Haram nets and the mosquito nets. So this is a cover protecting the snails from whatever that might come inside the snail farm. Aside this, snails like a moist, loose, loamy soil. Your snail soil must be moist, it must be loose, it must be conducive for the snails. And of course, the temperature. Many snail farmers suffer mortality as a result of high temperature in their snail farm. And they don't know this. They just feel, oh, maybe it's the stock that they bought that is not good. Once your temperature is too high, once the temperature in the snail farm is too high, it will result to mortality. Snails love a cool, moist, and humid environment. So it is left for you as a snail farmer to mimic this their natural habitat when you want to farm them. Get a good loamy soil, test it, treat it. When you are testing for level of acidity. Be sure that your soil is not acidic. Once you have ruled out level of acidity, the next is for you to treat the soil. After treating the soil, you move your soil into your snail box that you have created. It could be an haunch box like this, a trench pen like this, something that is built with bricks, cement, and so on. Or it could be an haunch box, the one that is built with plank, right? And it can also be a greenhouse, the natural habitat for snails. So whichever one you are using, just ensure that your snails are well protected. Then you also get what we call mulching materials. Mulching materials are basically dry leaves, right? It could be mango leaves, it could be banana leaves, any kind of dry leaves to protect the snails from direct impact of sunlight. It would also make the snail pen to be moist and cool. These are the things that snails need to thrive. Aside this, your feeding must be top-notch. Snails eat a wide range of food, fruits and vegetables. So all kinds of fruit waste, you can feed your snails with it. All kinds of vegetables, you can feed your snails with it. And of course, the oga patapata, which is the locally formulated snail feed and calcium. To set up a backyard snail farm, let's assume you want to do something like this. This space is not even up to half plot of land. So if you have a free space in your backyard that is just wasting, you can incorporate snail farming. Snails do not smell. Droppings from snails do not smell. So it makes it easy and habitable, right? Now, if you want to do something like this, because of the high cost of materials these days, right, you will be needing between 1 million naira and 1.5 million to get your blocks, cement, gravel, and of course your galvanized rod. This will help to hold the farm together. You'll also be needing basic plank, right, and the roofing. So all of this with 1.5 million naira, with 1 million naira, you should be able to build something like this in your backyard. But if you don't have this amount, if you want to do on a very, very small scale, maybe using an haunch box, the plank system, with 107,500, you should be able to start a reasonable snail farm from your backyard, aside the costs of the haunch box, because the cost varies from locations to location. For people that are in Lagos, if a carpenter wants to build an haunch box for you, they can say, oh, 30,000, 40,000, or 50,000. If it is in Ibadan, with 20,000 naira, you should be able to get an haunch box. Then the money will be for your snails, the 107,000, your snails, your snail feed, your calcium, and of course, a small beginner training. Whatever business you want to do, it is important for you to acquire knowledge. So that total package of 107,500 comes with a training, an online training where you will watch how to set up your snail farm, feeding, hatching of the eggs, taking care of the baby snails, and so on and so forth. So with either 107,500, you can start a meaningful backyard snail farm from your backyard. And if you want to go a little bit commercial, you have 1.5 million, you have 2 million naira, you can erect a trench system like this from your backyard. 3 species of snails that one can use to start snail farming. Each of these species have their unique market values, right? So we have Achatina marginata. This is Achatina marginata that we are currently deshelling. They are the snails that grow big, and this is the favorite. This is what customers want. They want big, massive snails. For you to grow big, massive snails, if your goal as a snail farmer is to grow big snails, then you go for the Achatina marginata snail. Another species is Achatina achatina. We also call it Ghana snail. The snail majorly originates from Ghana, and they also lay quite a lot of eggs. For marginata, they can lay between 6 to 10 big eggs, just like what we have here. These are all eggs from the snail, from a single snail. Very big eggs, This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 big eggs like this from a marginata snail. If it is the achatina snail, that can lay about 200 eggs or 150 eggs, but the eggs are tinier, very, very small. Then there is another one, we call it Achatina fulica. The Achatina fulica also has almost the same characteristics with Achatina in terms of reproduction. They also lay between 150 to 200 eggs. Their eggs are also smaller, but we call that snail the king of slime. If one is looking into extracting snail slime, it is that Achatina fulica snail that you are going to farm, because they secrete quite a lot of slime, which is very good if you are looking at extracting snail slime. So these are the 3 major species of snails for snail farming. It now depends on what you want to do, your goal of setting up the snail farm. Is it that you want to produce giant snail? Is it that you want to extract snail slime? Or you just want to, grow snails that meet market demand? So whatever your goal is as a snail farmer, that is what will determine the species of snails that you are going to rear. For us, our customers are I want big snail. I want the snail that will be as big as my head kind of customer. That is why we are sticking to Achatina marginata snails. Aside that, they are also environmentally friendly. They don't really die so much. The rate of mortality for the marginata snail is still minimal compared to Achatina and Achatina fulica. So our major challenges in snail rearing: number 1, research work is limited. So we are basically farming with the knowledge that we have acquired, and sometimes we support with prayer that God, I've done everything, I've given them food, let them survive. Animal production is very challenging. 1 minute all your snails are fine, the next minute you are struggling with dead snail in your snail pen. Aside that, we also have challenges in growth. Snails are slow growing animals. This jumbo that we are currently processing, the youngest of them is about 18 months old. So for someone who is not focused, who wants a quick return kind of business, you cannot do snail farming because of the time it takes to grow them. These eggs that I have here, it will take a minimum of 30 days for them to hatch to baby snails. Now, from baby snails down to grower snails, down to point of lay, breeders, table size, large, and jumbo. So it's a whole lot of work. While they are babies, we struggle with mortality. While they are growing, we struggle with mortality. At every point of their growth stage, mortality here and there. Then once we are done, we have successfully farmed the snails. Another challenge is logistics. I remember that we sent a snails out to a customer, and the drivers poorly handled the snails. About 50% of the snails died on arrival. And the customer was screaming, the snails you sent to me, they are not good. Of course, they are right. Because you cannot pay for a product as expensive as snails and be getting poor quality. So we had to make part refund for the customer. And other logistics company that I know, they don't carry livestock. Once it is snail or any kind of livestock, we have to go through these public drivers, and they are not helping businesses at all. So those are the major challenges that we have. Limited knowledge, research work is limited, logistics, and growing of the snails can be quite challenging. It takes time. This is why they are organic. No, there is nothing you can use to fatten snails. Unlike poultry birds that you say, okay, we want to raise them for 6 weeks, we want to raise them for 14 weeks. With snails, it is a step-by-step procedure. Nothing like fattening, nothing like quick growth. You have to follow the process by giving them the food that they need to grow. And this takes time. So those are just the few challenges we have in snail rearing. And of course, the price. It makes it quite hard for new entry. Snails are very expensive. So anybody that wants to eat protein now, they would have weighed out other options before they even talk about eating snail. An average Nigerian cannot wake up one morning and say it's snail that I want to eat because of the price. One snail sells as high as 3,000, 3,006, 4,000 naira, depending on the size. So it makes our customer base to be narrowed down to those who have this purchasing power to buy snails, and those who truly know the value of snails. And I believe that every Nigerian should be entitled to eating snails, because it is a product that is highly nutritious and do a whole lot of good in the body. That is why we encourage backyard snail farming. Even if you cannot do it for commercial purpose, do it for yourself and your family. So every time you want to eat snail, you go to your backyard, pick one or two and eat. You incorporate snail farming with gardening, so that all that you'll be using to feed your snails, you can be getting them from your garden, like vegetable, planting of pawpaw, spinach, lettuce, and so on and so forth. Demand for snails is higher than supply. And any business where demand is higher than supply is obviously profitable. But before you can see your money as a snail farmer, you must have spent a lot as well in production, growing, and you won't see all your money at once. It is a gradual process, right? Snail business is profitable. There is really no waste in snails. We can decide now that we want to, not even we can decide, we are going to process these snail shells. So we'll make money from selling the snail shell powder. The snail meat, this has already been paid for. These snails that we are processing right now is worth over 500,000. Just 150 pieces, and it is worth over 500,000. The snail liquid, the bluish water, research shows that it can be used to cure hypertension, stroke, and some other illnesses. So a customer can request for this bluish water, and we put a price on it. We put a price tag on it. So every part of it, you make money from it. You make money from either the meat, the shell. Some people even buy the eggs. They call it snail caviars. Some people request for snail eggs. You put in the price tag you want to sell your snail. So it is quite profitable.
Let's tell us about how you do your training, the cost for those who wants to learn, who can come physically or who cannot come physically.
Thank you. Also, we have 3 categories of training for people that are interested in snail farming. We have the beginner class of 15,000 naira. The courses are self-paced, so irrespective of your location, Nigeria, abroad, all you have to do is just make a payment. And once we confirm your payment, you will get a link where you can access the course. You will watch the course on your own accord and begin to implement. We also have an advanced training on snail farming. This is more comprehensive, more commercial, right? This is 50,000 naira, online as well, self-paced, about 21 videos for you to watch, and ebooks to support your learning. Then the physical training, if you want to come to Joks Snail Farm to learn how we grow snails, how we process snails, how we recycle snail shells, that costs 150,000 naira for 2 days on the farm. You also get access to our online school platform for you to continue your learning for 3 weeks. So if you want to reach out to us for snails trainings, you can reach out to us on 081 46 42 4483. We are also on YouTube at Joks Snail Farm, Instagram Joks Snail Farm, Facebook Joks_Snail_Farm. So we look forward to having you in the farm or meeting you physically in the farm or online. Thank you.
Your physical training is how many days?
The physical training is for 2 days with a 3 weeks. Yes. Okay. With a 3 weeks online training.
Okay, so it's a mix.
Yes, it's a combination of theory and practical class.
Okay,
yes,
so the practical is the 2 days.
Exactly.
And then after that, you do your 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yes.
Okay, so many people probably will going to. So guys, let's make this video go viral. Let's push this video, more people can see it. And for those who wants to come either through the route of 15,000, 50,000, or 150,000, I like them to have some discount because they are coming through this channel. So what discount will you be giving to them? And it's very expensive that because they must give a few discounts. So
Oh yeah.
just tell the person they are coming through David's video.
Okay.
What percentage of discount? Let me know.
All right.
20%, 30%,
Let me think.
50,
Let me think. 50.
Why not? Why
Okay. So for the 15,000 naira class, we will do a 20% discount.
20% discount. Okay,
That's about maybe 11,000 or 10,000 naira thereabout. For the 50,000 naira class, we'll also do it
15,000 naira. 15,000 naira.
20%.
You are doing 20%. That's 3,000 naira.
It's small. Okay, so let's
the person is paying 12,000 naira.
12,000. I think it's okay. Please.
Right. I was hoping you said they pay 10,000 naira.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's do 10,000 naira.
Okay, so instead of paying 15,000 naira, you pay 10,000.
You pay 10,000 naira. Then for the advanced class, instead of paying 50k, you pay 40,000 naira.
40, 10 out. Great. And for the physical, the 150.
That one, no discount. No touch.
Why? Because you have to spend your time.
Yes, time.
But if that's what my people want more,
hey,
you have to remove something. No, we don't have to remove much. Remove
okay, I would. Let me remove 10,000 naira too.
After 150,000. All right. She's a very good businesswoman. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sure this has been an interesting one. So please do reach out to her. So if snail farming is your thing, you can go to our channel and watch a lot more
videos. Yes,
yeah.
Lots and lots.
Yeah, we just try to bring you opportunities all around Nigeria. So we'll do beyond this kind of video. If you really like this video, then I'm sure you will like other contents that we'll have on the channel. Please do check them out. But if you really just want to watch agro related businesses video, then you can check out our second channel, which focuses solely on that. Check the description of this video and you'll find them there. Thank you so much for watching, and go do something with the knowledge that you have gained today, and I'll see you guys in the very next story. Yeah.